What's up, guys? Frugal VC. When is Algorand going to start pumping? Well, we're going to look at historic charts today to tell you when Algorand and some other coins should be popping off. Actually, we got a little ways yet, so keep an eye out for that. Plus, we're going to talk about a new Algorand Explorer going live. We're going to dive into that. Gora is set to go multi-chain. We're going to talk about Gora Network today. Some updates on the Fame app. We had Bilal on a few weeks ago. ReformDAO partnering with Algorand. What is all that about? We'll explore that today. Plus, well, then we're going to get to our story on when Algorand should pump. I did some deep dive into when they did in past cycles, when Algorand pumped, when some other coins pumped. So we're going to look at that, when you can expect the bull run to actually take effect for some of these coins, as well as as well as Bitcoin itself. So we'll look at all that today on the show. Welcome back to Frugal BC, and if you haven't already, please hit that like and subscribe button. As you know, you don't have to smash it, you can just press it gently. We also have channel memberships for $1. You can get stuff, you can get videos before anybody else. And a big shout out to our sponsor, Non-Fungible Domains. If you want that .algo address instead of those complicated letters and numbers, makes doing stuff in Algorand, the Algorand ecosystem, far simpler. Mine's frugalbc.algo. I've been a proud NFT owner for a while. So check out the link in the description to check that out. But let's get to the show, starting off with a new Algorand Explorer. By the way, guys, I hope the sound is okay. I'm using my backup mic because my Shure mic died on Tuesday when I was trying to record the video. And so this is sort of the video I was going to record on Tuesday. And let me know if you notice any difference in the sound. I actually did a little test and I couldn't notice a very big difference. I was a little surprised by that because my Blue Yeti is not nearly as expensive as the Shure mic that just went dead. So let me know. Anyway, this is the new Algorand Explorer. It's called Algorand.observer. You can check it out for yourself. This was shared by D13, who you should definitely go check out. He's got a lot of interesting stuff. He's the engineering lead at Alco Foundation, by the way. Yeah, let's just take it for a little test drive. Yes, this is kind of the main page. You can see the latest blocks, latest transactions. It kind of updates in real time. Now, last time when I tried to do this on Tuesday, I was unable to find my address, so let's see if I can find it. Yeah, no results found, so apparently it doesn't work with NFTs, and I don't have my address. Now, this is normally why I like the .algo address, because I can remember this, I can punch this in anywhere. I'm not going to remember my actual address. That's just far too confusing. So, but yeah, you can look through accounts. They're in alphabetical order. Yeah, even I know the first two of mine is LV, and that doesn't work. So interesting that they have an alphabetical order, but I don't. And what would be really cool is if you could sort by balance. I was talking about this yesterday. Like if this was a sorting tab, so I could click on balance and see who has the most Algorand. Like that'd be really interesting. Otherwise, I've been using allo.info a lot. I think that's a pretty useful one. So you can see like the latest, this is like, yeah, you can't change this. So you can see the very oldest one, and I guess you can click on well, no, you can't. It's just going by 100 pages. So, to get to the newest ones, it should have been set up to have the newest ones first. Seems like that would make more sense, but, well, it's interesting that it's there anyway. The search tab doesn't seem to be working, but it is available. So that's a new Algorand Observer, but keeping an eye on that one. This new one I thought was interesting, that Gora Network is moving to Base and Starknet. So we're going to go multi-chain, and I think with an Oracle, that's a good thing to do. I've seen some criticism of Gora lately, mostly I think because the price has gone down. In fact, we can look at that first. Yeah, Gora's all the way at the bottom of the first page, which used to be up quite a bit higher, as I recall. It's at 4 cents currently, which, isn't bad, but I don't know where it was. I haven't been tracking it too closely. Yeah, and I always talk about this, but got that really typical ASA curve where it shoots right up, comes back down. This is like a really fast shoot up, and then it came up a little bit, and then it's been crashing lately. So anyone who bought around this area is probably, around March to April, probably isn't too happy right now. Like a second bootleg, which is really interesting on that. So yeah, I know there's a lot of people, whenever that happens, whenever the price goes down, people get really bearish on a project, which is why, I don't know, I've heard a good argument that no project really needs its own coin. And, I'm long in telling people that ASAs you should be really careful of, so be careful with those. But yeah, this is from mj.algo. He says, just in, Gora Network expands to Base and Start. Now, I know a lot of people have been talking about Base. A lot of people like it a lot. Some of my fellow Algorand creators are big on Base as well. So with this deployment, dApp developers on Base can now access Gora's data feeds, which are backed by decentralized validators that ensure high accuracy, uptime, and security. So that's what I like that. Gora's got data feeds. I like data feeds. Data's great. I'm a big data guy. Although the launch is still in alpha phase, the Gora team has announced that they will provide dedicated support for developers to ensure seamless integration and to address any potential issues. They also emphasize their openness to feedback and eagerness to collaborate with projects on Base. And so Base integration is part of Gora's larger strategy to expand its Oracle services across the Ethereum virtual machine compatible blockchains. We got something else about EVM versus AVM coming up too, by the way. Or did I? No, I think I saved that. I'm sorry. I think I saved that for. We're going to talk about that on the live. That's where we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that on the live. But yeah, if Gora's successful deployment on so it follows Gora's successful deployment on Starknet, another layer 2 blockchain. This integration is also still in its alpha phase. Notably, it was supported by a seed grant from the Starknet Foundation. So Starknet, and then now Base. Yeah, a lot of like I said, a lot of people I follow really like Base. So I think this is pretty interesting news for sure. Hopefully, it'll expand things a little for Gora, especially for Base. I hadn't even heard of Starknet, I'll be honest. But yeah, you can see by the way things aren't going well for crypto right now. Definitely a pullback here, right? Anyway, next up, Fame is adding a new token plus some updates. So let's look at Fame. Like I said, we had Bilal on not too long ago. It was maybe a month ago at most. And now we got some updates from them. Let's take a look at this. This is from Santolito. Thrilled to share that Reform DAO is officially partnering with the Algorand Foundation, the powerhouse Layer 1 blockchain built for scale. Through this collaboration, Reform DAO will deliver market-making support to projects across the Algorand ecosystem. Together, they're setting new standards for fairness and stability, giving Algorand projects a solid foundation for growth. You know, whenever I read these, I never understand market-making support projects like. So it's an automatic market maker, but it's a DAO. I don't understand. This is a huge milestone. Expanding Reform DAO's reach and commitment. What does Reform DAO's thing say? First, market making and liquidity providing DAO leveraging AI. Yeah, so that's interesting. I wonder what will happen once this starts getting added to projects. What impact will that have? Will that help them have liquidity without some of these like crazy ASA curves that I've been mentioning? Like maybe this is a big step in the right direction. So I'll admit I don't know a ton about this. But I definitely think it's interesting and worth watching. So we'll pay attention to see if there's some changes over the next year or two. Oops, I went to the Reform DAO one. And now we'll get to the Fame token one. Sorry about that. Yeah, so Fame adding a new token. Like I said, Bilal was on recently. We had a good talk. Had some audio issues on his end, but yeah, let's just see. The Reform DAO news is pretty interesting too. Amazingly, I went right through that and didn't even notice I was. Well, anyway, Fame. Let's talk about it. Dear Algo Fame community, first I want to acknowledge the incredible support we've seen through the growing trading volume of Fame. Surge is a testament to belief you all have in the vision. But trading is just one side of the coin. Our vision goes far beyond market movements. It's about empowering local economies and farmers, etc., which I think is great. I think this is a great thing. But let's see. I built a Fame app where local producers are rewarded for their efforts with 0.01 Fame given for every like they receive. Many of you already asked about greater liquidity in our ecosystem. So now, responding to the request, the new farm token is coming in 2025 and will be more liquid to provide you with even more flexibility. Fame will be converting into farm, ensuring that your engagement with the platform continues to offer real, tangible benefits. So brand new token. And they have an app. You can download the app now. I didn't find a lot in my area, but there did seem to be. It's not just in these like Nigeria and Africa and all that, but there's stuff available in the U.S. as well. Plus, there's like some staking you can do and things like that. So if you want to check that out, feel free. But yeah, interesting that they're transitioning into a new token with more liquidity. So I guess my question there is like, why? What makes it more liquid? Do they talk about that? Yeah, I don't really think there's much I don't see anything about why it would be more liquid. It'd be an interesting question for Bilal, and I probably will bring him back on at some point because we did get kind of cut off, so we'll keep an eye out for that. Okay, so the last thing I want to cover is when should you stake? When should you wait for this crypto pump to come? I'm sure a lot of people are really impatient. I know it's getting around that time. We start seeing Bitcoin pop off, and you think, well, what about all these other coins? Well, I went through the charts and I looked about what happened in 2021 because my impression was I was always talking about crypto around Thanksgiving and Christmas is when, crypto was going crazy, like Bitcoin was going crazy enough that everyone was asking me about it, family members and such. Well, but the other stuff is coming much later, actually. So I thought this was interesting. I put this together, put it on Twitter. I'm going to share it with you guys now. And by the way, if you're not following me on Twitter, please do so. I think I have a link in my bio here. Otherwise, it's just FrugalBC, and you'll see this little icon. That's me. Here's what I said. I said, although the past is never a guarantee of the future, here's when the big bull run pumps happened last cycle. So I started with Bitcoin. Oh, I was gonna bold these. I forgot. Shoot. Anyway, Bitcoin started running in late October, early November. Does that sound familiar? Have we seen Bitcoin start running in late October this year? This is 2021, actually 2020, late 2020 into, the major spike actually ran through Christmas and New Year's and really peaked in April. And that's what I saw in the charts. Now, Solana was interesting because in early 2020, it had a kind of a nice little run, but it really blew up in fall of that year. So that's like fall of 2025. Now, I always have to make the caveat here, just because it did this last time doesn't mean it's going to do it again. But it has followed this general pattern just about every time. Can't say that with the alts because they're all pretty new. A lot of these alts didn't exist in 2017. Solana didn't, Algo didn't, Near didn't, HBAR didn't. So yeah, none of the ones we're going to talk about, they weren't even here. So we only have one cycle to go by. But this is what happened last time. So I think it's good to have patience. So Algorand, didn't really start popping off. So I said late January. Actually, was it late January? I thought it was the middle of February. I think it started in late January, but really kind of peaked out around mid-February where it really started running. And just like Solana, it had another major run into the fall and winter of 2021. A Near protocol, which is one I like a lot. It's an odd duck since it launched in 2021. It sprung up a little in the early part of the year, right after launch, but exploded in price. Wait for it, as I put it, in 2022. Yeah, so it actually had a huge spike in 2022 versus 2021, which is interesting. So, you really want to be reactive to this stuff. You want to wait till it pumps, and some of those will come a lot later. HBAR was pretty much the same as a lot of ours. The ones we talked about had a nice little, more familiar pattern, nice little bump in early 2021, and a much bigger one in the fall. So, you guys, I know a lot of people, I see a lot of impatience, and I understand. I understand where it comes from. I get it. I do. You start seeing Bitcoin go up and you're like, when is it our turn? When's Algo coming? When's Near? All these other ones. And, Solana ran actually pretty nicely from the beginning of the year, as did Bitcoin. So I know a lot of Algorand people, and Near did as well. So Algo and HBAR people are pretty annoyed at the lack of action so far. I get it. But it's coming. So stay tuned. It's coming. Hold on. Got to be a little patient. And I know it's not fun. I know it's not fun waiting when you've waited so long. We've had a really rough bear for Algorand especially, but yeah, you just got to hang on there. I think good things will happen. Now, I've said that I don't think Algorand will pump nearly as much as like something like Solana. It just has that meme power behind it for whatever reason. Sui too. Sui's brand new, so we can't even look at the past. It's like started this year, having a good run already though. So I'm pretty big on that one. It'll be interesting to see how that blows up, but. Yeah, for alts, like I'd focus on Bitcoin right now and take some profits if you're in that, and then wait for some of these runs in February and then also next fall. So we should have a nice year for crypto next year. Keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, I'm FrugalBC. Like I said, let me know about the sound and how it is. I'm going to play around with adjusting the position and stuff like that. But otherwise, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Stay safe out there, and I'm FrugalBC, and I will see you in the future.